That one was spicy.
So the Warriors have to play 48 minutes.
So I see this going 7. I have it. I have the Nuggets at 7.
Ant-Man, Batman, Watchmen, Lakers at 5.
It's money time now.
Yo, YouTube, what's going on, man? All right, so look like we got a pretty good but interesting game here going on. Game 1. Indiana got the 19 first half turnovers, which is wild.
Terrible.
But the good news for them is they were only down 12 off of 19 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Siakam with the follow through. That my stream might be a little bit behind the actual going on, but look, my quick prediction on this was OKC in 6. And I think these teams are very evenly matched, except the point guard position. And again, this is no knock because the MVP is SGA, but I think he's going to be consistently better than Halliburton. And you kind of see it. I saw one play in the first half where he picked his pocket. Halliburton did his Urkel drive, and Halliburton just played it perfectly and picked his pocket. But I think the supporting cast equal is just going to come down to SGA can push flow for 40, and Halliburton really can't. Do they call travel here?
I think so. That's what it looked like.
I got the, and this is a learn when you watching the game live stream. Make sure that none of it, because when they go to commercial, they don't want any commercials playing in your background or whatever, because that's what happened with AOH and Zay. Yeah. Where they got the copyright strike, which is crazy. But so
I did that All-Star. I think Saturday Night All-Star. They could hear a little bit in the background, and they struck me down.
Wow, that's wild, bro.
I didn't have it close. I just had it on my TV, but they could hear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, see what I'm saying?
Shut it down. They shut my whole live down.
Wow. So yeah, always be careful of that. Anybody that wants to do any type of live reaction, stuff like that, man. There's many ways to get in this YouTube game. So, but yeah, quickly, we go. I'm gonna get to the Knicks biz. But we're going, as we going, we're gonna react to this second half of the game. I came in I got home late in the first. It was a good day to be outside, and me and the family, we took a walk. Back home,
here, but
yep. Let's see. What's up, Bakar? Yeah, turnovers. You cannot turn the ball over. Look, 19 first half. Yeah. Over under. I said they should end in the high 20s, mid 20s. They cleaned it up.
And Toppin what happened? He had like 4 or 5 of them.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he was just throwing it out there and throwing it to wherever he was trying to get to somebody. But yeah, that defense is suffocating. They just
okay. So you got the defense. Everybody on that team defends.
Yeah.
And the Pacers got good team defense. They're really good when they press you. And again, their credit, they're hanging around despite all the turnovers, despite the big. Yeah, they defend the SGA pretty well because he's 8 for 18 in the first half.
The Knicks just need to run it back. Yeah.
I kind of agree with you, but again, Giannis is one of the best 3 players in the world. If he's available, you got to do your due diligence. Cat can't even get mad that he's being shocked because he knows Giannis is that guy. So, in my opinion, really early thoughts on it. If we're not getting better than Cat, there's no point of change. And I know I heard Cat for KD. I'm not on that. I'm not on that new type of time because I don't think, number one, I don't think KD. I think KD will perform here, but I don't think he'll run through walls to get the Knicks a championship. And he'll be good, but I don't think his heart is into winning another championship, really. And I don't think his heart is into dealing with the New York media. When he came here, he came to Brooklyn. And I said, Brooklyn, you're not going to get the same smoke in Brooklyn as you playing for the Nets, as you would get playing for the Knicks. And I think that was a big deal. But see, I also said he's not going to like being a second-class citizen in his own town. You know, KD, Harden, and Kyrie knew this because Kyrie is from Jersey, so Kyrie already knew this about New York. KD is from Washington. It was from the he's from the DMV, so he don't know it firsthand as well. I know his pops and them were Knicks fans or something like that, but KD did not understand just how you're not gonna be the man. You're not gonna be up there with Judge. People when you're a star basketball player, you're a star athlete, you want to be like the toast of the city. And KD, and again, I think he's a little bit aloof to not care that much, but in the back of his mind is no matter what we do here in Brooklyn, we're not gonna be, we're not gonna be celebrated like that. And I think he wants that, but he see again, these new athletes, man, they want the praise.
Yep.
They definitely want the praise, but they don't want any of the smoke and the pressure. So, like I said, that's why I don't want KD because he's been here, and I don't think he wants that Manhattan pressure. In Brooklyn, he was able to chill. Nobody cares about Brooklyn here. That's why we making fun of Nets fans all the Obi with. So Obi making up for his first half mistakes with a 3 here.
Yeah.
This one, okay, E-Dog, when we talk about Knicks biz, one thing I get on rolls is you got nothing for Obi Toppin. I think it was 2 second-round draft picks or whatever. Which, and you can always make something out of a second-round draft pick as we have. But if you say we don't have the assets, I'm gonna disagree because the Knicks, if anybody got the assets, it would be. We're gonna give you the best player. Karl-Anthony Towns is the best player that anybody will talk trading for him. Now, you're going to talk about draft picks, okay. The only teams with draft picks where is going to be, Obi is a role player. Okay, so, as I was saying, I was discussing over there on Angry Hoops channel, the Knicks we got Toppin. I mean, we got Cat. We would also have the unprotected or the protected first rounder from Washington. Now, I believe it's going to be top 10 protected. No, top 8 protected next year. So the highest it could go is the 9th pick. Now, that's not, obviously that's not the first pick in this year's draft or the second pick in this draft, but you add that with Cat. When Dame gets back, he's going to need to have a bona fide star to play with if you're going to get, if you're not going to do a total rebuild. So between that and we got 4 rookies that are pretty, from this year that are pretty interesting. Dukes McBride as well. So think about everybody else is going to be throwing out their packages. Come on, be real. If he's going to go to San Antonio and they don't give Castle, they're not going to give Fox or Wembanyama.
No, we ain't giving that. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, remember, CW is a Spurs fan, right? So what would you offer for Giannis?
I give him Vassell,
See what I mean?
Keldon Johnson, and I'll give him the 2 and 14.
See what I'm saying? The 2 and 14, which you don't know, you're not even giving up Castle. This is Giannis we're talking about. So to say that the Knicks don't have it, well, Karl-Anthony Towns, I'm like, was he not an all-star starter? And was he not, he's only 29, 30 years old. So it's not like he's, old news. He's got another 4 or 5 years in his prime. And, again, we got the picks and pick swaps, plus young talent to kind of put around that. Got to remember, if Dame is coming back, he's under contract. You're not going to exactly trade him right away with his big contract coming off that injury. So you're going to want to try to, compete right away or, unless you're going to just scrap it all and, rebuild, So that's just my early thoughts on that. Because people are going to say, oh, the Knicks don't have anything. No, the Knicks, in my opinion, we got the best package.
Okay.
We don't get the best. Yeah, we don't got the best package in terms of picks. And you're ready to give up 2 and 14. That goes to show you don't believe in Ace Bailey or.
Nah, I don't.
See? So you don't believe in Ace Bailey, but you think that's the biggest asset to go for Giannis?
I don't. For me, I would not trade for Giannis because I think I don't think
overkill.
Maybe are a good fit.
Yeah, it's overkill. You got 2 guys that they need a lot of circumference,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
There's this word called gravity. So they need both of them need a lot of operating space. And I get that Wembanyama can shoot, but do you see a great 2-man game coming from them?
Nah,
They
that's.
don't.
I
Yeah.
mean, he needs to start focusing on learning to play like Giannis, but he can't play like Giannis if Giannis is on the court with him. So
True.
yeah,
And again, and then to play like Giannis, he got to get a lot stronger in
well,
the
yeah,
weight room wise,
you
right?
have to bulk
So,
up a whole lot.
wow, they called an offensive foul. Well, so this is Elmer Fudd. I don't know if that was Elmer Fudd. They called it on the screen. Mark Daigneault. So I was getting into the Mark Daigneault my last live, and how he came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm not even really like he was a lifer. He was at G League coach. Look, there's a great defense there.
Was he a college coach or is he?
So he was like a Holy Cross assistant. Then he was an assistant with Florida and Billy Donovan.
Okay, yeah.
And then I believe Billy Donovan brought him with him to the OKC organization when he had the job.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's been there ever since. Billy Donovan has obviously moved on. And so, again, and look, now he's in game one of the finals with a heavy favorite. So when because we're gonna talk about the Knicks coaching, right now I'm hearing Johnny Bryan and again you're gonna hear the Knicks would just do well to do their due diligence, bring in about 6-7 of the top guys, and then decide from there. Well, yeah, you
Who
could.
your pick is? We're gonna get to your pick, right? Who you think should be the coach?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I gotta hear more, right? I don't, again, like these guys. I'm not sitting here. I'm not one of these guys that know all these hotshot coaches. The guy in college, I don't know if it's Brigham Young or somebody that they was talking about might be the next big NBA stuff. A lot of these guys, they say the college coaches, because there's so much structure in college that's good for the modern NBA. Again, my thing with Tibbs is you need modern NBA style coaching.
Yeah.
There's things that was good about Tibbs, and we need to keep it. Tibbs is one of the best preparers of a team in the league, and that was great. But to me, the problem with him is that preparation is all he felt he needed to do, because I don't think he was a great in-game coach at all, and it showed. That's the reason I believe that the Knicks are not playing the finals right now. I know a lot of people will say, "Oh no, Indiana's just better." I don't believe that. Again, this is a team that got 19 first half turnovers. You understand what I'm saying? And again, Indiana's got great punching power. It's hard to knock them out because they can score at any point. But two things you're going to see is Phoenix is not good in fourth quarter. I mean, Indiana's not good in fourth corners, and they're not good in the half court. Running half court set, and OKC is too disciplined
Terrible.
for them to get ran through. You can't run on OKC. You can't run on it. You gotta execute against OKC. And I don't think Indiana is a great execution team.
Not at all. That's why we saw 19 turnovers, because you can turn them over fairly quickly or easily.
Well, E-Dog said his Pistons will win. And again, I know you feel you played us strong. What improvements you could put it in the chat? What improvements you think the Pistons are gonna make? What moves y'all gonna make? Because we're gonna talk about a lot over the summer, man, about the moves people are making and what moves you expect to make. So from a Pistons fan perspective, what moves who you guys looking after? Whenever you hear that, okay. All right, JB, like I said, you're welcome to come up, man, and just hear your thoughts, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I consider you my co-host, so you welcome anytime. But maybe you watching the game, sometimes I gotta watch the game on my phone as well. So like I said, we'll be ready for you, JB.
Yeah, I got log out. Well, not log out, but I got to be off for a second.
Yeah, no problem. I can hold it down myself. Well, thanks for showing up, man.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah. So yeah, look at this. OKC is 80-18, and they had 29-1 against Eastern Conference opponents. So the idea that the Knicks couldn't play, because a lot of people say the Knicks would have got swept. I don't think we get swept. I think we'd have gave them a strong series. I think Indiana's gonna get them a strong series as well. But yeah, they were 29-1 against the East. Jesus Christ. and 80-18 overall, 29-1 in the regular season. Obviously, man, if they sweep, that will complete a 33-1 again. Look, OKC is a great team. OKC, and that's the thing too. Where can we rank OKC? Let me ask you guys in the chat. Yeah, we lost to the Pacers because the Pacers, and again, the Pacers. I'm gonna get into that. The Pacers outcoached us. The Pacers out-adjusted us. I don't think the Pacers out-talented us. I think the talent level was even. The execution level was even. The numbers wise, they were right there. The numbers were almost identical. The Knicks were a slightly better rebounding team. The Knicks were a better defensive team. But the Pacers, that's the theme. That's the theme of why we needed to fire Thibodeau, is because Carlisle, for the second year in a row, outcoached them. Period. He was outcoached again, and 2 years ago against Miami in 2023. So that's why I wanted Thibodeau out. Thibodeau was great at getting us to this point, and he's a great preparer. But in game, he leaves a lot to be desired. He does not make adjustments. If you don't make adjustments in today's modern NBA, you're gonna lose. You could lose with the better team, And again, I think these are very evenly matched teams on the court. I just think the SGA is a better player than Halliburton, and that's going to decide the series. I don't think they have an answer for him. I think there's plenty of answers for any Halliburton explosion. They go to travel. Oh, well, I don't know what that's Matherin, that's not so but Halliburton ain't even on. Oh, no, that is Halliburton, the number 0. You know what I'm saying? Look, we lost to the Pacers. We lost to the reason why, and again, that was my justification. Okay, that was a foul on Dort. My justification for firing Thibodeau is Thibodeau lost 4 playoff series. All 4 playoff series we lost, we had home court advantage. And so to me, it's like, yeah, had we lost to OKC, okay, fine. Had we lost to Boston, fine. But how did we lose to the Pacers? You lost because you got out coached. Period. And I know we only finished 1 or 2 games. We were about 6-7 games, man. We coasted, and the Pacers finished strong to get that finish. So I feel that we were better. I still feel that we were a better team than the Pacers. You know what I'm saying? I feel that we were a better team than the Pacers. But so you like Pacers in 6. That's crazy because, again, as I just pointed out, the East, the whole East only won 1 game. And I got to find out what that team, they won the 1 game against OKC. They were 29-1 against the East. That is wild. I don't think that's ever been done. So for the Pacers to even get a game right now, I gotta look that up. Anybody in the chat can help me? Anybody that's here can tell me who the OKC actually lost in the East? The 29-1 is wild. It ain't like the East was dirt. We had it probably was the Cavs. You remember Boston played 2 games, Knicks played 2 games, OKC, Orlando, Pistons. Everybody played 2 games against the OKC, and only 1 team won. Hold on, I ain't gonna do that, Lamar. They go ask ChatGPT for everything. Who was the worst Jordan fan on YouTube right now? I don't know. I mean, the worst Jordan fan. I know there's a lot of horrible LeBron fans. Are they trying to? Did they? iHeart talking to Matherin. We miss iHeart, bro. We miss iHeart, and it's funny. Like I said, the guy that we made became the missing. I believe he became the missing link to to OKC's championship ascent. They were a very good team last year. Now they're an all-time great team. I want y'all to understand when y'all look at basketball, that's the thin line. A guy like iHeart, that's the one between iHeart and trading for Caruso. You would think that Giddey, talent-wise, is a better player than Caruso. Yeah, you saw it with Chicago. Giddy was getting triple doubles at the end of the season. But Caruso is an all around player in his role. Yeah, you got him basically playing power forward right now. That's crazy. OKC is another team with a lot of 6'5" to 6'6" and 6'7" interchangeable guys and the two bigs. That's their team. I would have loved to see what Karl-Anthony Towns at the 4 would have done against this OKC team. But again, we'll find out next year because again, I'm in my Knicks in 26 campaign. What's up, Joel? So look, Indiana. This is the thing about Indiana. They got so much punching power. Hard to knock them out. OKC cannot get above 12, 13 points lead. McConnell, again, he's a Thomas Bryant with that corner 3. Shout out to JB. Shout out to JB. Thomas Bryant, one of his young soldiers, making waves in the finals. Caruso, another one of the young Laker soldiers. You know what I'm saying? So you don't like Robin. Is rated R Sports a Jordan fan? I think Robin's pretty good. Some things I don't. I think Robin's pretty good, pretty knowledgeable. Look, now we got a 6-point game already. I think the Jordan fan side are very. Again, I didn't watch too much of Mookie other than his little interaction with Johnny. Knicks in 26, bro. Knicks in 26. I'm telling you. And again, so OKC ends with a 3. This is a great fight. Again, this is a great styles fight. I don't think Indiana will make 20-something turnovers again. You understand what I'm saying? They cleaned up. I think they cleaned up in that third. Captain Siakam was 16. SGA was 28. Like SGA is SGA. That's why they're gonna win the series. Finals MVP. We all know Finals MVP. Put your vote. Put your Finals MVP bet wages in for SGA because that's almost a lock. And the only person, the second favorite should be Jalen Williams, but SGA is going to win this. Yeah, man. Knicks at 26, bro. Again, it's for us to take in. We got to take it. We got to take it. We got to probably the right coach and get the most out of the Cat Brunson combo, or we got to go for Giannis. Obviously, if Giannis is out there, you go for him, and then you build a team around him. You work it out with him, and matter of fact, you're talking about the 2 leading scorers in the playoffs. Think about that. If the Knicks had Giannis and Brunson, those are the 2 leading scorers by average in the playoffs this season. So can't make it up. Oh, so Mookie blame you, or he banned you? That's crazy. Look, some of these guys are sensitive, man. It is what it is. You saw me going back and forth with STO and Discord last night. Again, I want you guys. One thing about me, man, you better come with a strong argument and don't contradict yourself. Because as soon as you contradict yourself, I'm gonna take your credibility. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take your credibility. So, yeah, man. When it comes to the Knicks, we got to make the right coaching choice. Oh, and we can run it back. Obviously, we can add a couple of things. Free agency wise, since the Knicks are under the second apron, that's a big deal. I put that post on my it showed it salary cap wise we're under the second apron, and that would only we would have to say goodbye to Precious Achua. We would have to say, unless Landry Shaman's going to take and he probably made him a couple of dollars playing as well as he did in those couple of games. But we're for now we're under the second apron, which is the big thing. Well, I hear people searching your IP address, like I'm like, And people looking up IP addresses from the LeBron fan side. I've heard a lot. I've seen a lot, bro. I don't know, man. I think it's just, bro. Talk sports. Like I said in Discord. I keep it sports. I'm not going at people's personal life or nothing like that. Just keep it sports, man. Keep it sports on this channel as well. Because I know all that. I know there's a back and forth beef between the Joe likes Siakam for MVP. They're gonna have to win up. They're gonna have to climb an uphill battle for that to happen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I will say this, GJK and them, they're good sports. FY, I mean, yeah, GKJK, as much as I cook a Johnny, he'll think he's the exposer. I done exposed him a few times, but Lamont be on some craziness, bro. Rudy, you're gonna take Rudy Gobert over Akeem Olajuwon, bro. Like, how do you show your face in the streets saying that to loud to people? You can say that to these young boys that follow you. You can say that to these young cats that follow you. You can't say that to anybody over the age of 40 that know basketball, bro. Like Rudy Gobert, you gonna tell me you're gonna take a guy who just averaged 5 points and 6 rebounds against Chet Holmgren to guard a Shaq over Akeem Olajuwon, who we already know swept a prime Shaq? Can't make it up. You can't make it up. That should have been a goaltender. They hit the rim. Yeah, man. Yeah, I know Carcino blames Brunson. Carcino got something out for Brunson. He's a Nick troll at this point. It's all good. I go up there and cook it, even though I got to yell over some goddamn Celtics fans. And when I go up to Carcino, I try to at least get my serious thoughts in there over there. You know what I'm saying? No, I will give a Johnny a lot of credit because he gets a little too ramped up. He done cursed me out a couple of times, and he'll play the mute button. He'll play the mute button game. But I learned. Okay, you gonna mute me? All right, I'll let you speak, and then I'll unmute myself and go right back at you because he thinks that So the last time I was on there, that Sunday show, he's talking all that shit about the '90s, but all of his cutaways are '90s movies. Like, bro, you talking about how to be done with the '90s, but you playing New Jack City, you playing Juice, you playing all '90s music, all '90s shows, but you talk about we done with the '90s and '90s players. See, that's the thing about them. They got it so bad, and I'm the one that actually got him to say that Kevin Johnson was an elite creator. I actually got them to actually give 90 players credit, even though they want to act like everybody in the 90s were bums. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Not, bro, me, Joe, I'll pull up anywhere. You see that, man. You see that. I don't duck smoke. None of that, man. I go in there and I have fun in there. But every time I go over there, man, and I know they live now. He's probably doing, he was doing I was interested to watch that, but I was too busy before I had to set up here because I wanted to see how Johnny watched. It's a good thing about doing the live reactions of the game. You see how cats actually watch the game. What do they take from the game? What analysis they give? You know what I'm saying? Because real talk, I'd rather talk about the game here like this than listen to Doris Burke and Richard Jefferson. Real talk. Mike Breen is the best in the business. He's my Nick home announcer. You know what I'm saying? He's the best. I think he might be one of the greatest. I think he's better than Marv. I was listening to Mike Green on the radio when Marv was the number one guy on MSG. And Mike Green is very descriptive of the game. He is the best play-by-play announcer, I think, probably of all time, in my opinion, for basketball, without a doubt. The bang, man, you feel it. You feel the emotions, bro. But Doris Burke and Richard Jefferson, I could tolerate Richard Jefferson a little more, but Doris Burke, I mean, I think somebody be writing her jokes too, because that Germany versus France thing was cringe, bro. Like what? World War II was like 100 years ago, 80 years ago, bro. Yeah, man. You see, March on mute. And because I have to turn it down, so I don't get no copyright strike over here, man. You saw it. CW said they gave him A week. I don't even know who that is, E-Dog. I would, bro, bring him over here, man. You know, look, I suppose he took the L to Travis, T Perfect on Go James Kingdom, but I realized number one, we did the debate a week late. They didn't even remember it the week I pulled up the 1 week, and T Perfect they wasn't set up. They were set up to do something else. Then I get on the debate. He told me, give me the link 30 minutes beforehand. He gives me the link right before. I put my son to bed. And next thing you know, and I admit I wasn't that prepared because I had so much to do that Saturday. But then the fact that 3 judges are your co-hosts. That's not a fair debate format. And to be honest, I caught him in 3 lies. Okay, the Knicks don't have who let me ask you, Philip Fry, who's your contender? Who's your contenders for next year? Who's your front runners for next year, Philip Fry? Just to, everybody believes the Knicks don't have enough, and I think that's cap. We got as much as anybody. Like I said, the fact that OKC had to go get that missing link from our team can show you we can fry it up. I know. Everybody, it's Knick hate, bro. Now again, the Knicks are gonna have to be undeniable. I've said this. We're gonna have to be undeniable. The Clippers. Oh, the Clippers. It is what it is, man. Yeah, Joe said used to listen to Suns on the radio. Yeah, you know what? I never listened to this because when I was listening on games on streamings, you would get a lot of road announcers. They would give you road announcers, and so a lot of these road announcers are homers. You cannot be a homer and be a serious announcer, bro. Like, I get you're supposed to hype up the team, but you got to call it down the middle in the game. You can't be a cheerleader. And that shit is cringe listening to cheerleading, bro, you crying about every call. You're not supposed to do that as an announcer. Another turnover. Breakaway dunk by Jay Will. Now, Jay Will, again, this guy was the 23rd pick in the NBA draft. Like, I think he was he's a late 20s pick. Like, there's no, you guys are healthy for. Well, Philip Fry, the Celtics won't be healthy. They won't have JT next year, and they're gonna have to figure out ways to get rid of Porzingis and Holiday's contract. So, Denver, come on now. No, Denver is going to be, but the Knicks have owned Denver head to head. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the Knicks got enough. The Knicks got as much as anybody else. It's just a matter of getting the right coach to get the right out of it. Filling up that bench, playing the rookies. That's why Tibbs had to go. Tibbs had no, we made a first round pick last year. God never played rotation minutes at all. Can't have that when other teams are getting, like the Warriors are getting rotation minutes out of Quentin Post. Yeah, that's that's one thing that I always want to debate, because again, it's absolute stupidity. Again, you know what the basis of their argument is there was never a Scottie Pippen on that, so therefore the teams are trash. That's why I tell you, man, these guys that look at teams, who's the top 2 stars, and that's no, a team like, look at, okay, now I can see that Jay Will is a good number 2, but Jay Will is far from a star. Again, I was just talking about Jay Will. I'm going to look up Jay Will because, again, up until this year, I barely knew who he was. And now this guy's the number 2 of a championship team, right? And they got 2 Jalen Williams. I don't even know which. I don't know if he's L-I-N or L-E-N. Okay, hold on. There's Jalen Williams. He got drafted. Okay, now it's the other one, the big one. L-I-N is the big light-skinned one. He's a 6'8" guy, right? 2nd round pick. Let me look at Jalen Williams. I can't even spell his name right. I don't even know how the correct spelling of his name. Goddamn, there's so many Williams that play for the NBA. He don't even come up. Basketball reference, bro. There's so many. When I go to Basketball Reference, random clips. I heard you want to smoke random clips. Look, when we get the debate thing going on, I'll be happy. But I'm looking up Jalen Williams, and this is what I'm saying. When people say, teams were trash because they didn't have Jalen Williams. I can't even get the correct. Okay. Jalen Williams, OKC. So he spelled it J. Oh, he spelled it irregular, like Jalen Rose. Jesus Christ. Okay, let me look up his numbers, his facts. So he went to Santa Clara. I believe Steve Nash went to Santa Clara. He was a 12 pick, so he was a lottery pick in the 22 draft. Yeah, he was a second and rookie of the year. Comeback player of the year. The clutch player of the year. He was 12th for clutch player of the year last year, and a legit all-star this year. So, arguably, I think he is. And I was always my doubt about OKC. He was a Babe, what's going on, man? Yo, if you want to come through, if you want the link, and we could talk Nick Biz, because right now I'm just live reacting to the game. If you want the link, man, I give it to you on Instagram, or I would put it in the chat here. Just let me know, because I didn't know if y'all did a live tonight. If y'all did Nick Rehab tonight, bro. But salute Faith for checking in, man. But yeah, Jalen Williams, again, if you're gonna tell me LeBron's teams were trash because they didn't have a great second star, and they were a good solid team around built on defense. You can't say that when look at this team won 68 games and are the heavy favorites in the NBA Finals. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna catch y'all on the replay, man. I had to do a lot coming in. You know, I always like to catch y'all live. You know what I'm saying? But if you wanna come through and talk for a good 15, 20 minutes about Nick Biz, bro, we talking Nick Biz tonight, man. We got a lot of doubters out here. You know what I mean? Y'all know random clips. They were trash. They weren't. How were you trash and you win 66 games? Explain to me how a trash team wins 66 games. Explain to me how a trash team wins 66 and 61 games back to back. That's a LeBron fan cope. LeBron wasn't good enough to lead that team against Boston in Orlando, and therefore they become trash. Remember, they didn't even lose to Boston one of the years. They lost to Orlando one of those years. So how were they trash? Yeah, 61, the most ass 61 and 66 team wins of all time, right? Yeah, that's LeBron fan code. It's and mind you, they were heavy favorites. Remember, that's the thing. Segue into the Knicks stuff. Thibodeau has lost 4 series as the favorite. You know, that's the thing. He lost 4 series as heavy favorites. At some point, yeah, the players got to take accountability too. But to me, the coaches got to put a favorited team. You know, it's going to be the thing. What are we going to do? Get to the finals next year? Be favored and lost? No, we got to get a. The 38, 8, and 8. I love it how you guys put numbers out there, but you don't seem to realize that LeBron actually choked in Game 6. So yeah, he had those numbers, but he wasn't that great in those closeout games, in those late games. Remember, Dwight Howard. Who did Dwight Howard have? He had Skip to Malou, Guido Turkoglu. You know, yeah. I will give Indiana a lot of credit for hanging around here, but it ain't like Dwight Howard had a murderer's row. LeBron didn't make the plays. That 38-8 means nothing. You know what I mean? That 38-8 means nothing, bro. But it's always I got my number. See, you know what? The great Wilt Chamberlain, who's number 2 on my list, a lot of the times that he lost, well, I got my numbers. But you didn't make the plays at the end of the game that you needed. That's why they lost so many times to the Boston Celtics. I got my numbers. Numbers, like, end of the day, numbers are numbers. Right, yeah, it's nice to get 38, 8, and 8 in a game. It's nice to get a 44, but sometimes you could do more. Again, LeBron had 50 in game one against the Warriors in 2018. We just, I don't forget because I was it was my father's birthday, and we went to the club out in Brooklyn. That was so it just happened. That was May 31st, game one of the finals. And LeBron pretty much did nothing in overtime. He quit after the J.R. Smith gaff. He didn't have to quit. Oh, but he felt he would. That's the problem. It's not enough. Another Jordan. What about it? You want to talk Jordan's career again? If you want to pull up for this Jordan debate, let's have it. Let's have it. Jordan. You know what Jordan said? Jordan them had a triple double. They even on Go Jays Kingdom, they played Jordan at the end of the 1990 series in Game 7. He didn't sit there and say Scottie Pippen only had 2 points in 44 minutes. He probably didn't even know that. He probably didn't realize that at the time. He said, we got to get better. He said, we got to get better. Jordan had 29, I believe he had 29, 7, and 11 or something like that in that game. I don't even know he had a triple-double. He didn't sit there and say, well, damn, Scottie, you only gave me 2 points and four turnovers. He didn't say that. You see what I'm saying? So for you to sit there and do the whataboutism, Jordan never threw his team under the bus. Jordan said I need to do more. And that's what he did. No, I'm not spouting stats. That's not the point. That's not the point. No one has said, well, you got numbers. And no, Jordan said we need to do more. That's the point. You saying, oh, well, he got 38 million. His team was trash. Nonsense. Because that's not the story. That's the problem. Because they lost to a better team, they put their players, their role equally trash role players. Because you want to tell me, or Cleveland was trash, well, Orlando was trash in 09. Skip to my Lou. So sorry, he didn't even start as equal, good player. Well, he didn't even start as the starting point guard. It was Jameer Nelson's team. But Jameer Nelson was hurt from All-Star break. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are so inconsistent when it comes down to this. But, we ain't going to talk about LeBron and his rehash and his revised history all the time, man. We ain't going to talk about that the whole night. They love to revise history. They're trash because they didn't win. And it's got to be anybody's fault but LeBron. 30. I don't care about your 38. I see Will go 40. Go get 40 and lose. Sometimes you need to make the plays down the stretch. Sometimes it's about the fourth quarter games. Yeah, everybody was talking about Embiid last year. Embiid didn't do shit in the fourth quarter. I've maintained that. Well, Embiid was killing the Knicks. But he didn't in the fourth quarter. That's the most important part of the game. I don't care about him getting 35 points in 3 quarters and then getting 2 in the fourth. You get 35 points in the fourth quarter and you get 2. I mean, through 3 quarters, you get 2 in the fourth. You didn't bust. You didn't bust your ass. That's the other thing. LeBron was always. We've joked about how whack he was in the fourth quarter. That was the one thing. Yeah, LeBron is always chasing something. LeBron is chasing his tail. He's chasing, and that's why his legacy is what it is. Wrong. Here's the thing, bro. LeBron fans only know stats. Y'all don't know the game. That's why it's so easy to kill y'all, bro. Nobody cares about stats. Nobody cares about stats. Okay. This isn't a Jordan post, bro. You got out for Jordan. When you want to debate Jordan versus LeBron, pull up random clips. Pull up because your takes are awful, bro. Talk about Jordan. We talking about right now. We talking about Pacers and OKC, and you want to talk about Jordan? Y'all cannot get Jordan out your brain. What you get? Debate someone. Of course, I'll debate someone else because we all know that you're terrible. You know, you said you're not even a basketball fan. You a movie fan. It's funny. He comes in here and talks about. He comes in here and talks about Jordan, Jordan, Jordan. We want to talk about Jordan. We would talk about the Cavs, and we would talk. And next thing you know, he wants to bring up Jordan. Jordan had nothing to do with the Cavs. Jordan didn't play Orlando. The Orlando team that Jordan played was better, and Jordan lost one series and came back and won. There wasn't no excuse train. Oh, his team was trash. He had Jason Caffey. Horace. No. They went, got a better power forward. They got Dennis Rodman, who, again, y'all don't seem to realize nobody wanted Dennis Rodman. The Spurs didn't want Dennis Rodman. You know how we know the Spurs didn't want Dennis Rodman? They took Will Perdue back for him. You know what I'm saying? They took Will Perdue back on him. Randall Clip is and he was in Go James Kingdom too. Somehow found his way over there after telling me he didn't know who Go James Kingdom was, but he knew who FYF was. Okay, so you was an FYF chat debating on Go James Kingdom's show because you know they podcast on Go James Kingdom. Yeah, Rodman was a problem child. Rodman, the reason why they wanted to trade Rodman because he was taking shots at David Robinson. David Robinson was a franchise player. As good as Rodman, important as Rodman was, the franchise player actually was David Robinson, and you were not going to have the co guy, the second guy, or just the bodyguard take shots at the star. Now we all know that Akeem Olajuwon broke Robinson down, but you can't have a role player pretty much, and that's what Rodman was. He was a superstar role player, but he was a role player taking shots at your franchise. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Look, we was in the Eastern Conference Finals, and again, we were in the second round for the last 2 years. So the Knicks are building. The Knicks are not going to fall apart. The Knicks got the whole team coming back. You know what I'm saying? There's no doubt about it, man. There's no doubt about it. We can either run it back or we can go trade for. Shout out to the Pacers for making it interesting. I told you the Pacers are a hard team to put that knockout blow on. You got Jalen Williams there at the line. He got hit in the arm going for the layup. That's what I see on my screen. We got 5:25 to go, 5-point game. Indiana's really hanging around. You know what the problem is, bro? And I saw this. In that Discord chat. Teams, they look at players too much. They don't. I'm a guy that debates team. A lot of people don't know team dynamic. So they look at the superstar and they believe that that's it. When the guy, and I don't, far be it for me, because I think Draymond Green is a big mouth. But if you're gonna sit there and laugh, talk about he's triple single, and you're not understanding how important Draymond Green is to the Warriors, especially Steph Curry. Steph Curry is an average player without. I'm gonna say this again. Steph Curry is an average player without Draymond Green. Oh my God, he smoked the layup. So Chet Holmgren smoked the layup. The Pacers are hanging around. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, Joe. 2016s were worse than the Knicks this year. 2016's got to get. I know a lot of people Pistons. Bro, you got to make moves. You're not just gonna show up again and be better because the Knicks can make moves. The Knicks could be better coach. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks got a lot of room for improvement, and we can make moves to get this team better. But the team in place made it to the conference finals. Say what you. It's gonna be coke for why we beat the Celtics. But y'all say, wait a minute. One guy shouldn't have been to make the deal because the Celtics are supposed to be better than us. They were supposed to sweep us. So even if they lost Tatum at the end of game one, what are the Knicks supposed to do? Apologize? They lost him at the end of game 4 when the Knicks took a 3-1 lead. Oh, but they had 20-point games, like 20-point leads. So what? They had 20-point leads in the third quarter. Last I checked, the games don't end in the third quarter. Some of the dumbest things y'all say, bro. Yeah. And again, fanboys will not tell you. Like, I can tell you every iteration of the Warriors and during their dynasty run and the difference between the Harrison Bond at small forward, Dubs versus that. Oh, he played power forward. No, he was small forward. And then Kevin Durant is small forward because we're technically Draymond Green was the power forward. Even when Kevin Durant was there, you could consider Kevin Durant the 3, Draymond Green the 4. They didn't really move Draymond Green into the starting 5 until after that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they act like the player wins by the 6. Why? This is why this idea with the Cavs were garbage in the 90s, the 2000s. It's nonsense because they don't even understand what the essence of Cavs basketball was back then. Again, all they can tell you is LeBron didn't have a legit second scorer. Therefore, the team was trash. No, the team was built off rebounding and defense. They had a lot of great rebounders. They had Anderson Varejao coming off the bench. I take an Anderson Varejao on my team now. I know he's retired, but I love an Anderson Varejao type player on my team. Is he trash? Dragauskas was 2-time All-Star. He was slowing down. Here's the problem. You want to look because you didn't have a Scottie Pippen, and that's the thing. This is why. This is why guys like Randall Clips will bring up Jordan because Jordan had a Scottie Pippen, not understanding that it was Jordan that turned Scottie Pippen from the prospect role player into the co-superstar himself. LeBron has never done that because it's hard to develop next to LeBron. He has the ball in his hands all the time. You know what I'm saying? OKC got the 8-point lead, Mr. Foul Merchant. SGA is a terrific player. He deserves more of the credit than just being called a foul merchant. But, one thing that makes this OKC team great is they can switch. The whole team can switch off, and you're going to get the same level of defense from pretty much every guy. I think they officially gave him 13 assists or whatever. He was okay he wasn't good in the first 3 quarters, and he came in. Look, Siakam, that was Siakam's game. He had 31. That was Siakam's MVP. He smoked his free throw right here. Captain Siakam, bro. Halliburton is a really good. Halliburton is a really good facilitator and a good playmaker. I don't think he's a good point guard. I'm not gonna say he got a lot to be desired in running half-court offense. That's just my one thing about him. Defensively, not that great. A lane violation? Wow, these officiators, these officials. OKC ready to explode. They ready to go home happy. The Cornfield Finals. Shout out to the Cornfield Finals. OKC versus. Oh, they calling it on. So he gets another shot. Obi Toppin coming in. He's not coming in for defense. Turn it out. Oh yeah, I get it. Then at the end of the day, that was debate on who should get the MVP, and that was definitely Siakam because he was much more consistent through the series. That's a team. That's a team where anybody. This is what I like about the Pacers, but there's also a problem with the Pacers sometimes. That's a team where anybody can be the star on a given night, but then who is the guy they go to? Who's their go-to guy? Who's their closer? And again, it's a bunch of people. Like in baseball, you can't have closers by committee, right? You got to have that one guy that's their ninth inning guy. You got to have Mariano Rivera. You don't know who the Mariano Rivera of the Pacers are, but you do know it. And that was a foul on Halliburton. He reached in, hit his back, hit his hand. No, he got his arm. That's clear as day there. Mr. Bad Poker Face, Tyrese Halliburton. Bro, you play poker with him, you'll take all his money. He'll have a full house and you see it all in his face. Oh, man. So 36 points for SGA. And it's almost effortless, bro. It's almost effortless. It don't even look like he's working that hard. He got 36 points. OKC is winning this series in 5 or 6. No hate. No hate. I got a lot of respect for the Pacers. Oh, Neesmith. Knicks know about this. Don't get too relaxed. The Knicks definitely know about this, man. SGA, Creator, J. Will, Miss. Don't get too comfortable, OKC. Y'all gonna need to put the knockout blow. Them hard acting like he got a bag now. He hit it. Jesus Christ. I swear, man, I don't understand how guys hitting these step backs on you, man. Like, I don't know. I got to see some player hit a step back because I'm really good at defending a three-point shot for shooters out on the court. I know this is NBA level, but to me, the step back, like, you know where he's going. Once he takes a step back, he's not taking a step forward. So meet him at his pull-up, Zenith. Good block by J. Will. SGA. Again, you know where OKC's going in the tight. Get a Caruso. Oh, they call foul. Bruh, E-Dog, it's not even the same, man. It really ain't. There's like 3 guys with halfway decent post games. Carly Town is one of them. You know what I mean?
Man, these Pacers will not die.
Yeah, I told you they're a hard team to kill. I know this as a Knicks fan. Obviously, so we did in game 1. So I'm thinking, if you thinking that the Knicks choked in game 1, like OKC making it, but see, OKC got their closer. They know who their Mariano Rivera is, who their Trevor Hoffman is, who their Lee Smith is. For those baseball fans out there, Dennis Eckersley. They know who the guy is going to shut the door. But Pacers got a lot of guys. They Pacers go by committee, which again is good for basketball. You can get a bucket from anybody. Like Neesmith obviously broke the Knicks' heart in game 1, and then that goddamn lucky shot that should have been called a double dribble. Nobody replayed that a million times. Oh, blocked by Siakam.
All I know is, the Pacers play hard, and
they do.
That's something you don't see all the time in the NBA. Even you just kind of give up, but they don't give up.
A 1-point game now. So now the closer is Mr. Foul Merchant, Master Foul Bader. SGA, we gotta drive this home. Yeah, the Pacers are hard to kill. They show you why. I don't like this play, but they will. Oh, smoked it. Did Captain Siakam, did he get a timeout? Nope. It's OKC ball. Now they got a foul. Yeah, the Barkley rule is the 5-second back to the basket. Yeah, you got to make your move. No, he didn't have possession to call any timeout. Not a full one. So the ball is like he doesn't have full possession, and you can't. You gotta have the ball. You don't have to have 2 hands on the ball, but you got to at least have the ball in your control, or you can call timeout. Joel rooting for the Pacers. I would not feel good if this happened. Okay, I would. It might be a little bit of a vindication, but I wouldn't feel good if this happened to OKC as well. Yeah, man, that's old head. Yeah, the game ain't what it used to be. It's gotten better in certain areas, but it's regressed in other areas, man. Guys don't practice the fundamentals. They're very talented, but they don't practice the fundamentals. They don't finish fast breaks. They run out to the 3-point line. They don't box out. They don't, it's a lot of over dribbling. There's no point guard, no real big back to the basket big men no more who you can give the rock to. It's all guards trying to break everything down themselves. Those are just my basic.
I would say if you want to see where basketball is now, go to an A tournament.
Mm-hmm.
All you need to know about current basketball.
Oh yeah, the AAUification of the NBA.
Oh yeah, my son plays and he's got he has a 15, 16-year-old.
Wait, did they call foul on OKC?
They called a foul? Hold on.
Well, they challenging and they're trying to say that he got so if it is a foul, if the challenge is successful, then Siakam would have free throws, but that is not a foul. And if they call that a foul, bro.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the thing. The fundamentals are lacking. So when you talk to guys like FYF and you talk to they won't hear it. They won't hear it. But again, like I said, if you don't finish 3-on-1 fast breaks, 4-on-1 fast breaks, you're running out for threes. That's terrible fundamentals.
I mean, you have 6'5" guys as a 16-year-old taller than everybody on the court.
So when this challenge was unsuccessful.
Yeah.
OKC ball. Yeah.
I was taught to go back to the basket, back them down, turn and shoot. They don't know how to do that now.
Mm-hmm. And then look, you got Siakam trying to use his arm to box out, and then you got Carlisle thinking, oh, they got a foul. No. All right, so now wait a minute. Okay, so yeah, it's actually they don't have to foul because they only get 14 seconds on the shot clock. So let's see. They're gonna have a chance. They don't call a timeout. Let's see what they got. That's not what you wanted. He made it. Jesus Christ. Okay. Do we have a little vindication here? Captain Urkel.
Last night I said if Pacers win this game, the series is over.
What do you think the Pacers are going to win?
Now I do, yeah.
This is something.
6, but
this is something. Now I think OKC can right their wrongs. Bro, that goddamn grasshopper shot. Senior grasshopper.
Man, this is crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy. And I didn't like those plays. Both plays by OKC were terrible.
Yeah.
Oh man, they were a beatable team. Nobody's unbeatable.
Oh, I know somebody's getting some big dollars tonight if they lose.
Did I do a decent job? Should I put my tape in for MSG? I mean, for the MSG network. Joe.
What's going on, Speed?
Speed, what up? Salute. This game is crazy. A team that had 19 turnovers. So what's it? Okay, so officially it should be 0.5. It should be 0.5. The ball went through at 0.5. But they got the timeout. They're gonna get the gun one play. Let's see. Oh, it's actually 0.3. The Trent Tucker rule. The Knicks got so many rules put in play. The Greg Anthony rule, the Trent Tucker rule. Yeah, 0.1, and Trent Tucker was able to catch the ball and hit a 3. So the Pacers are gonna call timeout. Smart. Young Grasshopper, they're Taliban. I'm gonna hit Zay up with the Holly band. And he was telling me how this is a whack fight. I said, no, if you like basketball, This is a great NBA Finals, man.
This is a good NBA Finals because two evenly matched teams, and we're seeing that tonight. That the Thunder, you can say all you want about the Thunder, as good as they are, the Pacers keep it close. They
did.
That type
They
of
did.
team.
Now look, 29. Here's the stat: 29-1 against the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
That's crazy. Considering you have Boston, New York, and Cleveland, this Pacers team, that means the minimum they were 7-1 against those 4 teams, and then they were 22-0 against everybody else. Now, again, I know you them stealing game 1 is big. Obviously, as the Knicks, they're gonna have to win game 2, right? Yeah, Speed did like Hallie, and look, Hallie. This wasn't a Hallie game. That was a Hallie shot. This wasn't a Hallie game. This was a Siakam game, actually. Hallie was okay today. Again, he's okay a lot. But Hallie came in and he made the biggest shot. But this wasn't his game. It was actually a collective effort. Neesmith, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't get a cat. You couldn't get so they don't like their catch and shooters. Let me tell you something, man. The Knicks are vindicated here.
That's game.
The Knicks are vindicated here because
Oh, that's
the
crazy.
Knicks are vindicated here because this happened to us, and this happened to us with some bad calls and some controversial overturns. But this happened to them. They had a 12-point lead. They had a 13-point lead. They could not get that knockout blow. And now Halliburton gonna get all the credit. Cool. It's cool. Again, when it comes to the Pacers, it's a team effort for them guys. I'm gonna try to fill up the box score, see if I notice any things. Let's see. Let's go to ESPN.com because they give you the best up-to-date box score.
He'll go wild after this because he
knew
this was a done deal.
So Siakam, look at the even match. So Obi with all them turnovers in the first half wound up with 17 points. Siakam 19 and 10, Neesmith 10 and 12. So they got 4 double-doubles. I mean, actually 3 double-doubles out of the starters. Turner had 15 for Turner to get 9 rebounds. Even match. And then you get 38 from the Western. He did not make the plays down the stretch. You get 38 out of the MVP. Jalen Williams had a solid 17. He kind of smoked oh my God. Chet Holmgren smoked the late. Look at Chet Holmgren, 6.6 rebounds. Again, the Chet Holmgren is a nice young player. Really nice young player. Ihart off the bench, that's surprising. Ihart had a 9-9 in 17 minutes.
Yeah, they started Carson Wallace.
Yeah, Kingston Wallace instead of Ihart. And I think you got to change that. You got to go to Ihart, and you got to play him more than 19 minutes, 17 minutes. I mean,
I don't know if they trash, but they.
Yeah, no, OKC cannot be trash, bro. Again, this team was 29-1. This is their second loss against the East Coast Conference all year. The Eastern Conference has had 2 second-win teams.
Exactly. Yeah.
Look, Philip Fry. Some of you guys, y'all love y'all provocative thoughts, man. I mean, that's cool. NYK for life, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I just watched it happen to the best team, and I watched it happen to one of the best teams in NBA history. Think about this. OKC came in tonight 80-18. 80-18.
Yep.
That's wild. So let's see if my man JB pulling up.
He said belts up, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go ahead and pull some belts
Belt
out.
to ass, yeah. Shout out to Zay. Zay called me tonight, and he got to work tonight, so he can't go live. But he didn't want to go live, but I know he had time before he go and do his But let me see. Try to see if Fabian is still hollering around. I would love for you to come up and so I'm gonna try to give you the link if you got time. Again, man, listen, I know you guys are busy. I really appreciate any of the big timers, any guys with 10,000 plus subs coming on my stream. You know what I'm saying? Like Zay probably getting ready for work. You know what I mean?
We'll throw the link in the chat.
Yeah, if you throw the link in the chat, he might want to come up. But I was trying, some certain guys will give it personally.
Yeah.
No doubt. But anybody, I want to keep this an interactive type of show. So y'all got something to say or add to the podcast? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to get some thoughts in, and if you're comfortable just doing it in the chat, that's cool too.
Yeah, this is facts, Philip. I don't know. I know people are saying that this is going to be probably the worst rated finals in a long time, but this is like perfect basketball. This is what the NBA wants people to see because it kind of feels like a college matchup because there are two teams that are young, got benches. They're not relying heavily on one or two players. That's what's
that's the good thing about Indiana. And it's two ways to look at it. You do need a closer. Yep. I think Indiana got very fortunate. Chet Holmgren smoked the layup, a wide open layup. Patrick Ewing gets fucking denigrated for. But game one of the finals, Chet Holmgren smokes a wide open layup. You're 7 feet. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's how they.
And you lose the game by 1 point.
Yeah, they're gonna be crucifying him, especially since they lost.
Yeah. Bro, we talked about this on my last show, and I forgot to because you probably would have been watching, but I didn't I forgot to stream it to my channel. Yeah, man, I don't see why either. I really don't. Like, this is, if you like basketball, y'all were talking about this too last night, right? Right, C-Dub?
Yeah, that was one of our main points. Yeah,
if you like basketball, then why, but that's the thing. If the casuals who don't know these guys, again, I had to look up. I didn't know that Jalen Williams went to Santa Clara. I didn't know. I knew he was recently picked. I thought he was a late first round pick. He was a lottery pick, number 12. And then he was second in rookie of the year that year. 22 draft was that was the Paolo. So he was one. Yeah, remember, OKC stacked a lot of these picks. So think about this. I want people to understand this because I've said this many times. OKC is a very good generically built team. Mm-hmm. They got a lot of picks by taking bad contracts, salary dumps and stuff like that as they were building with these young guys. You know what I'm saying? You be in a lot of I think you're not that much of a casual. You be in a lot of our streams. So you seem to be knowledgeable. Casuals are the guys from the Philippines.
And they watch a lot of basketball videos.
They sure do. They sure do.
Out big time.
Yo, shout out to my people out in the Philippines, man. I would love to get a Filipino fan base, bro, for real. Because they love their Manny Pacquiao. They love their NBA basketball.
They do.
Now, again, some of y'all takes be crazy. Y'all need a brother like me to really teach y'all the game so y'all can sound better when y'all talking it. But yeah, I would love to get a Filipino fan base, bro.
I'll say that they Jordan fans. So
I will. They're Jordan fans. They are LeBron fans too. They're a lot of Laker fans. So I probably need to get on TikTok and try to get me a Filipino fan base, bro. I don't know about that. I'm not a TikToker.
Yeah, they support. So yeah, shout out to the Philippines. Appreciate what y'all do.
Yeah, you thought Grayson Boucher, the professor.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Professor's one of the homies, man. He stops around. He's real down to earth, man. He'll come play you if you challenge him. He'll come embarrass you.
He played what was it? And one.
Yeah, that's the N1 guy. That's the N1 guy. Now he does his whole thing with the Spider-Man, and he'll dress up like the Joker and all that. And it was him and a female did the Joker and Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I actually went to school with Helicopter. If you remember him from.
I remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
He played on our varsity team. So yeah, he's
okay.
Yeah, he could jump out the gym. Like he's one guy never challenged, never.
Yeah, man. Well, did he dunk on you a couple times? Oh, you just said, nah, let me get out of the way.
Dunked on, so
Oh, really?
When I played him, I just got out of the way. If I was guarding him, I just got out of the way. So I
got you.
That not getting dunked on. I wasn't there challenge his shot and getting dunked on. So nah.
Katie to Boston. What would see all this crazy stuff going on, and all of these. Look, I'll say this again. Look, obviously Giannis. We're gonna go after Giannis. You got to go after Giannis. Like you can go after again. Make your best offer for Giannis. They take it. They take it. If not, no. And then you'll run it back. But KD again, I don't know. KD's best bet is to go to Minnesota. I don't think he's an East Coast. I don't think he wants to be here on the East Coast. I don't think he want to be in heavy. I don't think he want to go. Joe say Filipino wife. Yeah. I mean, there's some good Filipino females out there, but I'm already taken. But yeah, KD. I don't think he wants to be in an intense media market. That's my problem with KD. KD's a little too sensitive. KD ain't ready for that smoke, and he ain't hungry, bro. He ain't hungry.
So, I just got a quick question. Timothy Miller, do you give up Jaylen Brown for KD?
I might have to, right? Or
you probably gonna have to, yeah.
I mean, Phoenix might be ready to break it all down, but again, Boston ain't gonna give you no top of the line picks. You know what I'm saying? Their talent is while good for that team. Is not necessarily going to trend like you think a Derek White could go be a star somewhere else or a number 2 guy somewhere else. You know what I mean?
They're not giving up Derek White. So
I'm saying, that's the thing when y'all make these trades, right? You're making a trade for KD, and I get it, he's 37. You're making a trade for Giannis. You don't like the Bucks would need somebody who they could potentially see as a superstar to build around. Exactly. Like if you're not giving that, there's no point. There's no point. Again, I guess you make Cat is not a superstar you can build around, but he is a number 2, and then you could potentially get something out of the other draft picks or whatever, and you can get So again, it's like without at least getting a second or third star, you're gonna get KD without giving up at least a Derek White. Like, or what else are you giving? Because your draft picks are not gonna be. No high picks, not from Boston.
Yeah, you're not. I mean, I don't think the Suns want Drew Holiday and
Zingis. Like again, you talking about guys that make a lot of money who are not in their prime anymore, injury prone. Like, no. Why would people want your garbage?
Exactly. Yeah.
You want to get rid of these guys because they're not going to live. See, that's the thing. You want to get rid of these guys because you're not going to live with the contract. Zingis is a good number 3, but Zingis makes $40 million a year, something like that. And you see, he was not whatever that it is, whatever that viral infection he has. You can never count on this guy to be a franchise type player. You'll never count on this guy to be worth the $40 million again. You're not. You just can't. When he gets over that problem, guess what? He's gonna get another injury, leg here. He's just an injury-prone guy. I know. Trust me, as a Knick, I know this. So why would anybody give you anything of value? You're gonna have to find an OKC. OKC and Detroit were 2 teams you would dump a salary on. Because they'll just absorb the salary and take your pick or take your young player or whatever. Now, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the sitcom started next year. NBA been a damn sitcom. NBA been a WWF scripted nonsense. Yeah. They tried to script it this year. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, they did, but they did fleece you for Paul George. Paul George got, dude. Yeah, man. OKC wound. It's funny because OKC wound up turning Paul George into Halliburton if you remember, Paul George went to to Indiana. I mean, the OKC. Indiana gave them Oladipo and they gave him Sabonis. Then they traded Sabonis for Halliburton, pretty much, to Sacramento. So remember, Halliburton was drafted by Sacramento, and they wound up it was Sabonis went over theirs, and Halliburton and somebody else came over to the Pacers, and that's pretty much been well. So again, getting into the Knicks, yeah, KD is obviously completely talented, completely. I just don't know he's a championship level player anymore. I don't think he, and again, I think he wants a small market. I think he wants to stay in the Midwest or the West Coast. I don't think he wants to come into any intense East Coast type of play. I mean, the only place I can see him on the East Coast is either Miami or Washington, where, you got media, but they're not intense like that. Atlanta, why? Because Atlanta will never win anything.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I actually stayed in Washington.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I was in Washington when the whole Gilbert Arenas thing was going on way back in 2010. Yeah. And I remember them kind of treating Gilbert Arenas like he was A-Rod. Like I was like, damn, Gilbert Arenas is like the A-Rod. They was talking about him a lot, but it's still not. It's not New York media intense, and not at all. And then next thing you knew, right after that, John Wall became. Once they got John Wall, they didn't need Gilbert Arenas no more.
They sure did.
Yeah, I agree. KD's not a good leader. He's not a leader. And again, I think that's the next thing when we talk Knicks biz. I think we need a floor leader. I think that's one of the big things too. The Knicks don't have a floor leader. Now Joe Miller might not like this, but the Knicks are talk of getting. Timothy Miller. I'm sorry, not Joe Miller. Timothy Miller might not like this, but the Knicks might get Big Al Horford. How would you feel about that if the Knicks got Al Horford?
Y'all gonna pay him?
It's gonna cost, and we got the mini mid, but we would have to work out some sort of sign and trade or something possibly like that. Or Al Horford would just take less money and
that's not a
go
bad
for another chip. I don't know.
That's not a bad pick.
Yeah, I mean, him and Cat being close, being fellow Dominicanos,
And just real quick, Gilbert. You said Gilbert was trash.
I'll say this.
I will say that.
Gilbert was a one-way player. Gilbert was a one-way player. I think Gilbert was very over. I would say he was trash, but he was overrated because I maintain this a lot. Gilbert, had he come around 5 years earlier, would have never got it. Like he came in an era where they allow for the shoot guard who shoots more than he does facilitate the offense. So I say guys like Marbury, Baron Davis were all way better than Gil, but Gil put up better numbers. And somehow people think that Gil was a better player than those guys. And he wasn't.
Gilbert did not pass the ball at all.
He did not pass the ball and he did not defend. That's what kills me when you watch Gilbert talk about defense. Like, nigga.
Exactly.
Blaming Europeans for the lack of defense. Like, dude. You were never in any defensive game plan.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Gilbert, Gilbert makes Steve Nash. I said Gilbert made Steve Nash look like Gary Payton. Stop it.
Exactly.
Remember, you talk that mess about John Stockton. We got Phil, but John Stockton cooking you when he was 40 years old.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, he would just stand there and ball watch on defense, man. He wasn't doing nothing.
Come on. JB, hold on. JB, damn, I can't get you in here.
You got to be careful about talking about Gil because Lamont will phantom his way in here and.
Oh yeah, I know Lamar finds I think he goes through the transcripts. You said Gil? Okay, let me pull up.
He gonna defend his boy.
JB, I can't put you on stage. I don't know what's going on. You gotta allow. I think you gotta allow.
Yeah,
you gotta give permission.
I don't think he's in here. Right, he's gonna have to come, leave and come back.
Yeah, JB, refresh.
Yeah,
if you can hear us, refresh.
Yeah, Sebastian Telfair. Yeah, I mean, Telfair was a beast. He just never got going.
The problem is he didn't have a jump shot. Now he was a better point guard than Gil ever could dream of being, but he didn't have a. Gil had a jump shot, he didn't. And at that point, you needed a jump shot to kind of the way the game was changing. You needed a jump shot to get your game off. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think Gil would be. He would be a little bit more honored in this age because you got point guards that's their thing is to score all the time. But yeah, I think back then that's why he wasn't seen so favorable because he just wanted to score all the time. He was just a scorer, which is fine.
JB, shout out to that young soldier, Thomas Bryant, hitting them corner threes, man. He put daggers in our hearts.
Hey, man, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Lakers need him now. The Lakers probably they let him go.
It's a win-win either way for me. One of them coming home with a championship. So.
Yeah, real talk. I think Caruso, that was a bad foul on Caruso.
Yeah.
I think that was a bad foul on Caruso.
You talking about him committing a foul or him being fouled?
Well, yeah, they called him because he had a steal, down the stretch, and they called that a foul. I thought he hit his hand. I thought he had a clean steal there, but he almost put the game away.
Yeah,
but yeah, definitely,
he got that crazy and one when he got knocked to the ground.
Yeah, those guys play very well. And look, a former Knick is going to win a championship too. It's either Obi or iHeart. So I'm feeling the same way as you, man. Obi came through with 17 points after a rough first half.
And I'm gonna tell you, man. Now OKC, they got Shea, he the MVP, and he deserved the MVP. I think Indiana's deeper though, man, and it kind of showed in that fourth quarter, man. And
they definitely have more places to go for a bucket. I know that much.
Ooh, man, that shot right there, no. Oh,
shout out to Skip hitting that little grasshopper, boy. Look, I'm a little vindication. If this happened to OKC, but it happened to us. Come on now. You ain't gonna put the choke sign up though. Nah, Joel, I got 33%.
I'm telling you, man, this NBA, man, I'm telling you. If they play their cards right, man. If they play their cards right, stop trying to put me. Well, I'm trying not to give that man no attention tonight. But at the end of the day, it's time to give these young stars they do, dog, because they persevere. Like a player like Lou Dort. Lou Dort was representing OKC before Shea got there. He was when they were down. And he just been plugging along, and now he in the finals, man. These young men, they've been going through the fire every year, just coming back next year, and it's time to give them they just do, man. And if the NBA doing wrong again, dog, this league could be set back for a very, very long time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look, both our show on Tuesday night and CW show last night was talking about this. Like, bro, what do y'all got? Like, what do y'all got to realize? Like, promote the league. Stop promoting these guys and promote the league. Like the finals, people are still hung up on Boston, New York. If you're a basketball fan, you're gonna love this series. That was a great game tonight. This was a great game tonight. Sloppy as the turnovers were. This was a great game, and you saw it. You got a classic moment.
Was the thing where I think Indiana they had to adjust in the second half. They cleaned that up, and in that fourth quarter, man, they ran home with it. So that's why I say, man, you let these players play, they'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I just think these former players, these antagonists, they all need to get out the way.
Toxic as hell.
Mm-hmm.
So look, shout out to Indiana because they had 19 first half turnovers. They wound up with 24 for the game. I predicted high 20s, mid 20s, and high 20s. They got 24, so that's right under mid 20s. But they only had 5 turnovers in the second half, so that was a big adjustment. Again, adjustments must be made. This is why we talking Nick biz. Adjustments must be made. You can't sit there and let. One thing I noticed about Tom Thibodeau, that you can go on a 13-0 run against the Knicks. Tom Thibodeau will finally call timeout. Then when we come out of the timeout, he brings the same lineup back in. The same lineup that just got 13-0 ran on him. Like I got sick of that stuff, man. So again, I want a coach that uses the whole team, uses the whole. This is the thing. Carlisle. Look, if Carlisle wins this one, he's in the Hall of Fame.
He's in the Hall of Fame. No doubt about that.
I think he's on the Hall of Fame already. Technically, you can say that, but I think there's no doubt he's a Hall of Fame coach if he wins this one. Really should be getting this team to the finals as it is, the 4th seed. Yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely the league has to move on, and I think NBC will do a much better job of these clowns at ESPN of promoting the teams that you see. Because again, nobody had Indiana being here, and understandable. But nobody had OKC being here. You talking about a team that won 68 games, bro. They were 80-18 coming into this game, bro. They were 29-1 against the East. That's wild, bro. Think about that. You 29-1, and the East had itself 260-win teams, 450-win teams.
You were 29-1 against McIntyre said, J-Mac, he said he want the ratings to be down. This dude said, give me super teams or give me death.
Oh, Jesus. Bro. We in this business so people never have to hear this to a fucking Jason McIntyre again. Because that has got to be the stupidest. Bro, what are y'all? I need anybody that's still here. What do y'all love about these super teams? Again, today's games show you if you don't have a full squad, you don't stand a chance. OKC will run your super teams out of the fucking gym, bro. Indiana will run your super teams out of the gym. Stop thinking you can build the team with 3 max level players.
But what happened was when this first started, when their first super team, Miami, the league didn't know what to do because we never seen that before. Other than you had teams to try to copy what they did. But the problem was, well, it's only you got 3 top 10 players on the same squad. There's only so many top 10 players to go around across 30 teams. So you take 3 of them, you take 2 top 5 players, put them on the same team in a prime. Well, Brooklyn tried to copy that, but they brought in older veterans who were first ballot Hall of Fame, but they were past their prime. They had one good year, lost in the second round of Miami, then they collapsed. Other teams kind of tried that same model, but the thing was, they was clearing out their rosters, man, getting rid of their young talent because they felt the pressure to try to keep up. It's just like Lakers trade for AD, then Kawhi told the Clippers, "Hey, y'all give me Paul George, I'll come to the Clippers." So as a result, Shea got traded to OKC. But see now, man, these teams, to me, they done wised up, man. They like, look, man, especially small market teams. You want our coveted player, give us your draft picks and give us a young talent. We're gonna take it from there.
Wow.
Then they start building up, man. And then the New Yorks of the world, the Indianas, all these teams, man, they start building smart. That's why they made the conference finals, man. That's why both LA teams sitting at home. Philly, they done.
Yo, shout out to 93 Zay, Holla Band. That's just that, the Holla Band came through. Look, we was talking about this for pre-game. And now I feel a little vindicated as a Knicks fan, man. Holla Band hitting that shot, bro. Captain Siakam set it up. But I still think OKC is going to win. I think OKC will adjust. I think OKC, OKC will win a couple of these games handy. I think they'll dig it out the mud. And I still think SGA is going to win the finals MVP. But, yeah, man. Bro, I was just looking. Jalen Williams makes $2 million this year, bro. $2 million.
That's it?
$2 million.
I don't mean
he's on his rookie deal. He's on his rookie deal. So next year he'll make 2.1, and then he'll be a free agent. And I'm sure that they'll extend him, give him an extension. But see, this is what I'm saying. Give me super teams to give me depth. A team like let me look at OKC's payroll.
That's what he said too, man. He said it on live earth.
Dumbass. It's dumbass take, bro. Like I said, I'm in this business to make sure y'all, whatever, man. A lot less of y'all listen to idiots like that. It's an idiot. It's an idiotic take, bro. Because it doesn't sustain no more. You can't get good sustained basketball.
A lot of these cats are mad because they can't gym up no narratives now. Because these two teams made it. Whoever would have made it out of the the conference finals, it'd have been legit. And they can't spin it. There's no way they can spin it.
OKC's cat. Let me look at the contracts. So I look at the salary. Let me look at OKC's contracts. OKC, so they had $164 million payroll this year. Their second best player is the least paid player. Ain't that something? Their second best player makes the least amount of money. So Hartenstein makes $30 million this year. Shea makes 5.8. Nobody else makes 16. Lou Dortz makes 16.5. Isaiah Joe makes $13 million, just under $13 million. Ted Holmgren is still on his rookie deal. He makes $10 million as the number 2 overall pick. Aaron Wiggins makes $10 million. He's on a declining contract. Alex Caruso, he signed an extension. This year he makes just under 10. Kenrick Williams. So again, let me tell you, Usman Dang, who's not even in a rotation, he makes $5 million, but again, he's on his rookie deal. They might not extend it. They might. Let me see. I think it's a team option, so they can always cut him and Jalen Williams. The other Jalen Williams makes 4.7, but the Jalen Williams, who is their second best player, makes $2 million. $2,019,699. I know $2 million is still $2 million, $2 million. But again, they got to the finals with their second best player making $2 million. That's how you gotta. I'm not saying that's the only way to build teams, but that's how you gotta be. You gotta be understanding that. You gotta make sure. Oh yeah, no doubt, Zay. They do got the horsepower to hang. I just think they got a better closer, and then obviously that didn't prove tonight. So I was wrong tonight for sure. Oh shit, bro. But yeah, man, I'm boring y'all with the numbers, but we gotta think OKC can sit there. They got so much flexibility. They got so much. They got guys who, the flexibility. That's why OKC is gonna be here to stay. Now they can sit at any point with all these picks they got. But you think Cat is out of here, Anthony? I don't know. I think I don't know if you're a Minnesota fan or what's the name, but Knicks, again, the only way we would trade Cat is if we have to get better. And I think KD is better, but I don't think KD is made for New York at this point in his career. And Giannis will be the other guy. We're not going to trade Cat and then get worse.
New York, he should have did that when he left Golden State.
Yeah, OKC definitely got so many first round picks. They got they were used. Jalen Williams was the second first round pick after Holmgren. Let me go back and look at that draft real quick. Because again, I love to put history in its context, man.
And see, real quick note.
Sure, go ahead.
I just want to bring up the Lakers real quick. Like I said, I ain't gonna disrespect the two teams that's in here now. I ain't gonna do that. But they said Jalen Williams, when he was drafted back in 2022, he was 22 years old. Whereas like the Laker young core started off, Ingram was 18 technically when he got drafted, and he was 19 before he started. Lonzo was 19, Randall was 19, Zubac was 18. You know what I'm saying? Clarkson was like 20. So what I'm saying is, Oklahoma City bringing in guys now, man. That it's a big difference between 21 and 19. You know what I'm saying? So for anybody think that 19 years going to lead the franchise to the title at that stage of their career, playing in that conference. I mean, I don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, it's going to take the building up chemistry, like the Knicks and the Pacers have done. Pacers and Knicks build chemistry over a period of time. Now they can sit there, like Knicks can sit there and say, "Hey, man, we one of the 4 best teams in the league. Hey, we make another move. Boom, I think we'll be ready." So it ain't gonna be no quick fixes for NBA fans out there. That super team stuff, nah, man, that's been done.
I know where it go.
That's been
Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm looking at the 2022 draft because that's very interesting, right? Paolo Carroll was the first pick. Chet Holmgren was the second pick. Jabari Smith, third pick. Keegan Murray, fourth pick. Indiana. From Iowa going to Sacramento. Jaden Ivey for Detroit. Benedict Mathurin. So you got it's very key because Benedict Mathurin is one of the 6 men off of Indiana's bench.
Yep.
Shaden Sharp with Portland. Dyson Daniels. Now remember, as a Lake, that's a young soldier because Dyson Daniels was the Laker pick that year. That's the year the Lakers. Remember, the Lakers missed the playoffs in 2022.
Yep.
And Dyson Daniels was the directly picked to the New Orleans Pelicans, and now he's a damn defensive player of the year candidate. Jeremy Sohan. There's no miss other than Jabari Smith, maybe. And Houston got the 2 seed this year. So Jabari Smith was in there doing his thing. He got he got 11.7 win shares, which is like 4th, about 5th or 6th in the Kessler and Braun got a little bit more. But he's still top 7 win shares of that draft. Let me see. There's no misses. Then you get now I gotta correct myself. Jalen Williams makes $4 million. He makes $4 million, not $2 million. That's the other Jalen Williams. Okay, so the other Jalen Williams, I think, was picked. Yeah, he was picked in the 2nd round. This is one of these years where OKC, and again, the Knicks this go back to Knicks bigs. The Knicks drafted Ousmane Dieng. He's the first bust. I will say this, and again, the Knicks picked him, but we picked him for OKC. Okay, we traded him to OKC because if you remember, the Knicks needed to set salary, so we couldn't take the salary that Ousmane Dieng was going to make and still sign Jalen Brunson, right? So we had to trade him on draft day to OKC. The Ousmane Dieng is the first bust of this draft where, and obviously he's not in OKC's rotation, yet he's on OKC's team. Jalen Williams, now that's the Jalen Williams is the second pick, the second best player. He makes $4 million. Jalen Duren was picked by Charlotte again. That was the Knicks. We traded back. The Knicks got that pick, and then we traded him to Detroit. So Mark Williams was Ochai Abaji with Cleveland. I believe he still plays for Cleveland. I believe AJ Griffin of Duke, not having the greatest career. Tari Easton having a decent career. Dalen Terry, Jake. Okay, so Christian Brown is in here. Then Walker Kessler. Again, the Knicks want Walker Kessler. We probably still are looking at Walker Kessler. Wendell Moore, Nikola Jovic. I believe, OKC killed in his draft, bro. Andrew Nembhard was the first pick of the 2nd round. He's in here. The other Jalen Williams. Max Christie, the Lakers pick. That 22 draft got some hitters, bro.
A good draft.
Really good draft. And so, guys from that draft still got another year on their rookie deal. If you hit, think about that. If you hit, this is why teams can. I'm telling you, this is why draft picks are important. Obi always got that explosion in him, man. But this is why teams definitely you gotta AOH was talking about this about 2nd round draft picks. You gotta treat your draft picks seriously, man. This is when y'all say picks, first of all, it's good to have them for trades if you need to, but then you got to learn how to use them. Some of these teams don't know how to use their picks. OKC has used their picks well. Again, they had $30 million to just give Isaiah Hartenstein. You know what I mean? Shout out to Tori B. Latoria, thanks for showing up, man. My all ball family finding the channel, man. Look, we talking Knicks biz to you, and I get into the minutia, man. I get into the minutia because I'm sitting here looking at these drafts, and again, the Knicks in the 22 draft, we again without the 22 draft, without us giving our draft picks away that year, we gave up Ousmane Dieng, but we were able to sign Brunson. Because of that, we had to shed the salary to get under the salary cap to afford the most to offer Brunson. If we didn't trade Ousmane Dieng, we didn't trade Jalen Duren to Detroit, then we would have never. Actually, I think we had 2 picks that year. We traded for the first round pick, but we traded both of those picks away. And again, that's how we were able to get Brunson, and we also got Hartenstein that same free agency. And obviously, Hartenstein is now with OKC. But that was a crazy ending, yo, for real. That was definitely a crazy ending.
What a shot, man. What a shot.
Yeah.
But they said
what
Indiana
a shot,
was
what a sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Indiana, and this gonna be you like people like Pacers and 6. Look, OKC gonna have to. I think OKC is a lot more equipped to deal with this choke than the Knicks were. I still like OKC winning and 6. That was actually my prediction. But you see this, the Pacers, you can't kill that team. The Knicks got a little bit vindicated, man. The best team in basketball, one of the greatest teams of all time, blew a 4-quarter lead to them. By 13, 14, I think it was 13 was the highest. They could never get past 13, bro. They could never get past 13. So that, again, like when it comes down to it, again, I'm freestyling here, man. What can the Knicks do? If anybody got a team that you think is going to be a contender, what do y'all think y'all going to do? Who y'all think y'all going to pick up? Again, the Knicks going to they're going to either run it back, get a couple of minor pickups to replace some of these guys. Because I don't think we're going to be able to sign Precious Achiuwa again. Campaign, get the hell up out of here. No doubt. No disrespect, but after you shot that UFO, I'd rather have Tyler Kolek in a rotation than you anyway. We got rookies that we need to develop. Tyler Kolek, Pacome Dadier, the first round pick from France. We had traded back for a reason. We traded back to get in the second round. We had 2 first round picks last year. We traded it for 4 second round picks. Again, that when you trade for Mikal Bridges, well, that kind of gets you the whole thing. Gets you. Yeah, man, that's how I do, bro, Philip. I just freestyle, man. I don't write things down. I'm gonna start that as the channel get bigger, but I'm freestyling. I'm sitting there talking off the dome, man. Just talking. I throughout the day, I have things that I think I'm gonna talk about, and when it comes down to it, like when we had the game and all of that, I was reacting to the game, and then as far as like Nick Biz, I'm just really kind of going on for what I've heard, what I've seen. Again, Johnny Bryant looks to be the front runner. I would be happy going that route. I would keep it real. I'd be happy to hire a black coach. I'd be happy to hire a black, and we've had black coaches in the past. Obviously, David Fisdale, Mike Woodson, Lenny Wilkins, who is black from Brooklyn. Don Chaney. We've had our black head coaches, but I want a black, young, coveted. They think he's going to be one of the next great coaches. Again, Mark Daigneault. I was going over Mark Daigneault. How he got his job, man. He came with Billy Donovan, and they just put him in the system, and he was their G League coach for the longest. Next thing you know, in 2020, they gave him the job. They gave him 2 years of rebuilding. They got the second after 22. They got the second pick. They drafted what's his name Holmgren. Holmgren got injured in the first summer league game, right? And he was out for the season.
He played in that Drew League.
Yeah, he was out for the season. And then they had a 40 and 42 year, almost made the playoffs. Then last year they were the 1 seed. This year they're the 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't take all of that to build a contender. I want y'all guys to understand that. You ain't got to get the biggest headline name. I'm looking at OKC again. I know that it's a bad night to look at them after they blew that lead, but OKC is still heavy favorites to win this finals. And they didn't. And again, even the Pacers. Look at what the Pacers did. Did the Pacers make any major move? No.
I don't think so.
Nah.
They signed Thomas Bryant, but that was about
I was talking about how Paul George. Well, again, it's funny. Paul George pretty much got them both of the superstars tonight, right? It was Paul George going to OKC for Oladipo and Sabonis. Sabonis was traded for Halliburton. So he's in Sacramento, Halliburton's in Indiana now. And then it was Paul George that was traded to the Clippers for SGA. So Paul George basically got both. And again, both of those teams chasing this. OKC was chasing the super team. Then realized we got to break this down. You know what I'm saying? And they broke it down right before the pandemic. They hired Mark Daigneault.
They was losing the first round.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know the Clippers got to the one conference finals. I was unfortunately after dunking on Rudy Gobert when he was still with Utah. What's the name? Towards ACL, partially towards ACL, whatever. Kawhi Leonard and OKC. LA, the Clippers with 6 with Phoenix. In that conference finals, and Paul George played well, but that was it. Meanwhile, OKC did with the necessary steps, broke it down, built it up. The Knicks don't got to make a big splash. The Knicks can run this back. Just hire the right coach. Again, the idea that if OKC is here, if Indiana is here, why can't the Knicks? You know what I'm saying? Why can't the Knicks? Look, again, your Lakers, bro, they don't have none of this. Again, I was telling you, Dyson Daniels is a DPOY candidate. He was second in DPOY. That's a young soldier, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's a young soldier because that pick was a direct result of the Anthony Davis trade. That was the Lakers pick. Mm-hmm. I believe in 22 they made the playoffs that year. So, you don't have to do all this. You develop your draft picks. You develop them. You don't have to get the top 5. If you draft well, you can get you a superstar, a second star. FGA was the 13th pick, wasn't he?
Talking about Dyson Daniels?
No, I'm talking about SGA. Gilgeous Alexander, the MVP. He was like the 12th, 13th pick.
Oh, yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. But everybody wants to, get the high ticket KD, Devin Booker. I don't need those guys. You know what the price tag they come with, too? Next thing you know, when you need to get in the guard off the bench, you need to get a wing, a defender, you ain't got money to do so.
See, I think the younger stars, they got the mental edge over these superstars past decade who have decided to stack the deck. These superstars, they got the edge because they ain't taking no shortcuts. And you like when you start understanding what a superstar mentality entails, man, it's like if you play like a true superstar, in your mind, you thinking, shit, man, I don't need no 2-3 superstar to join me, nigga. I'm a leaders. That whole mindset is totally different, man. It's totally different. Totally different.
Thank you. Yeah, shout out to Timothy Miller coaching. I agree. Coaching brings the greatness together. You got to get the right coach. You got to get a coach that's patient with the young talent. You got to coach. You got to get coaching staff that teaches. That's why. I mean, again, everything we hearing about Thibodeau. Again, he's a micromanager, so therefore he didn't let anything that the assistant coaches could have given the other young players. Anything they like, that's why Thibodeau had to go. Again, I don't know if you remember. We hadn't talked so much since the news dropped, but it's apparently the Knicks and not the young players. The top 8 players were saying the Knicks we didn't know our roles. The top 8 players didn't know their roles. I mean, obviously Brunson knew his. So you're talking about more like the Count Carnesy Town. You're talking more like Mikal Bridges. I'm sure Josh Hart knew his role. But you're talking about those guys. OG. We didn't know exactly what, Bridges. I mean, I'm sure. I know Deuce McBride. The feeling was mutual with Thibodeau. But again, if the theme is we don't know exactly what was asked of us, that's an issue. There's a lot of details that go into making great teams now. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, coaching matters. Again, and as I said, right, your Lakers, who would they hire? Mr. Mind the Game? A guy that is playing a 40-year-old for 24 minutes in the second half of a playoff game. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was the greatest relationship. I thought they worked professionally well, Cat and Tibbs, but I do think it was not a connection, and the Knicks did not need to feature him enough. I'm not acting like Cat is a super Cat, but Cat is a guy who really at worst should be averaging 20, especially with this Knicks, should be averaging like 25, 26 a game, and he could have easily did that. We didn't run enough plays for him, and again, I think we need a coach that works on these details. So when it comes down to it, yeah, we can run it back and still be contenders. I think the better coach will make us better. And I think getting a better player would make us better with the better coach. So I think the Knicks are in great position. You know what I'm saying? Again, no other big news other than the players pretty much voted Tibbs off the island. It just ran its course, man. Tibbs is a good coach. I would love to see Tibbs if we win again. Knicks in 26. That's my campaign. I'm gonna say it again. Knicks in 26. Knicks in 26. Hashtag Knicks in 26. I believe we got to take it. Again, we're right there, bro. We got to take it. If we beat Boston, why can't we beat anybody? We got our coach. It happens. Again, in the Thibodeau era, we lost 4 series with home court advantage. And I think in all 4 of those series that we got out adjusted. Because you remember back in Atlanta, the first year, right, we made the playoffs. Julius Randle was averaging 40 points a game against Atlanta. In the regular, I went back and looked at the game log. He played 3 games against Atlanta. He was averaging 39.8 points a game. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
He was averaging, but then come playoff, and he still averaged 8. He still averaged 19 and 12, but they were double and triple teaming him. So they made the adjustments. And again, we didn't have a bad team. We didn't have a bad team. We just didn't have a lot of great scorers around that, and it was just they were able to adjust. You know what I'm saying? So I know you saw Randall had a great playoff run. A lot of indications for a lot of these young soldiers, bro.
Yep.
And again, for us, we didn't trade our young soldiers. We had some young soldiers too, but we traded them for guys like Emmanuel Quickly and all these guys. We again, the one thing was Obi Toppin. We only got the 2nd round picks for him, but we traded a lot of these young soldiers, and we got the guys that we have in place. So you can't just let guys, you can't just cast guys off. You can't trade 17 picks for one guy anymore. Can't do it.
That's done.
You went that route. You had to let Caruso go. Caruso is a menace. Defensively, that man is a menace, bro.
Yeah.
I agree with that, Philip Fry. We didn't appreciate Randall. Randall was the first domino to drop to get that turnaround. He was the first. Like, if anybody can say what they want, the turnaround began with Randall. You know, when we got Randall, I thought that was a marvelous. I thought that was a crazy underrated signing. We signed him for 3 years, $63 million. You know, he then took a team friendly deal. He took less than he had to than he would have gotten because he was All NBA in 2021. You know what I mean? People forgot that. When you're an All NBA player, you can get the Supermax. But you got, like, it's a certain limit. So when he signed the deal, he signed it 1 year early. If he had waited, he could have signed a Supermax deal. But he said, no, I'm gonna give him a team friendly deal right now. And, you know, that's how we were able to get Brunson again. People got to learn these moves, man. You know, the Golden State Warriors have to pay for Jimmy Butler turned it around right then and there. But next year, Jimmy Butler's going to be making $61 million. That's wild. The cap is only going to be 154.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you can't have three $60 million players on your team. You already in the damn first apron.
Mm-hmm.
You are already at the first apron. You cannot do that. So people got to realize how you build these teams. Don't just go fantasy shopping. Get guys that you got to look at what the price tag come with. You try not to overpay for the guys. You might get the Knicks going to sign, if the Knicks don't move contracts or whatever, the Knicks are going to sign somebody very boring who, you know, again, it's just going to add to a roll off the bench, but it's going to be very necessary. You know, OKC is at 161. They're over the cap, but they're nowhere near any apron, and nobody has an out of control contract where, you know, like Lou Dort makes $15 million, and that's kind of crazy. But guess what? No, it really ain't. Caruso gonna start making $18 million because this was his last year with that deal. Remember when he signed for the Bulls? He went for 4 years, $40 million. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers couldn't afford that because of the salary, because of the luxury tax. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, so yeah, man, you got your 40. Yo, you see that? You see that chat right there, JB?
Yeah, I'm looking at
40
it now.
ruined. Yeah, this is what the Zays followers. The 40 ruined the entire franchise. Y'all got Hart, and we got Hart and Randall. Yep.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. You can see it all again. These guys, but I wish Robert said he'll be off of his swing shifts come next week, so we might get him on here to talk his mess. But guess what, bro? The whole playoffs, we ain't heard from you, and it's vindication, bro. Like each one of the final four had a young. So remember they were telling you, right? None of them winning no chips. Ain't none of them winning no chips. But one of them is guaranteed to win a chip.
One of them.
Not only that, one of the former Knicks is guaranteed to win. So again, we didn't want to lose the guys the way we lost them, but you know. So, you know, yeah, they always look. Garth was in here earlier. Are you still out there, Garth? Because JB's up on here, man. I know you've been sniping. So snipe now. You know, Garth be in and out. No, and actually he did. I don't know if he was on the stream when he did, but he said, no, I gotta admit I was wrong about because these young soldiers actually kicking ass in the playoff. Everybody in different roles. See, again, that's the thing about LeBron, man. And we had that LeBron goofy in here earlier, random clips. And I wish STO was in here because he's talking dusty, talking spicy and all that. This is what's wrong with LeBron. LeBron asks for help. He gets the help. The help don't work out because LeBron don't you know, you gotta adjust to him. He don't adjust. He don't use his role players in the best way the role players need to be used. And then you start comparing. Well, you know, would you want him or LeBron? Well, obviously, look, it's just dumb. You know, you need LeBron to play. I would rather another superstar than play and then have these guys. They know how to play with other players. You know what I mean? I would much rather have another superstar and play than know how to play with other guys. Yeah, Magic said we couldn't play Randall and LeBron together. So you let a guy that's all NBA walk out the door. Yeah, it's maddening. It's maddening. So, again, this is the finals that shows you, man. Y'all think it's boring because you ain't got three superstars on every team, but those three superstars on every teams are garbage. Phoenix was garbage this year, bro. Phoenix had to pay a goddamn luxury tax and all of that for a team that didn't even make the play-in.
It's bad business, boss.
Again, it's horrible business. Yeah, I was talking about that on AOH, how, they was talking about player tampering, right? And somebody kept saying player tampering is not a thing. No, players have gotten fined for tampering. Draymond Green and Anthony Davis got fined for tampering. Player tampering is a thing. And yeah, all that tampering, all that collusion, bro. And again, they do it. They outwardly do it. I was telling AOH, Rich Paul has been quoted multiple times slipping up saying "we" when talking about the Lakers. Rich Paul, you don't work for the Lakers. You work for your clients. The clients you have all throughout the league. But he says "we" when he's talking about the Lakers. Because we all know that he works for LeBron James and he manipulates the league to the benefit of LeBron James.
And Clutch will eventually they'll lose their influence. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, shout out to Philip Fry. The Rico case is coming soon.
There you go.
Rico case. Come on, man. And Leon Rose is the anti-Clutch. Leon Rose, unfortunately, you watch Star Wars, right, man?
Mm-hmm.
I liken him as the Obi-Wan Kenobi to the Anakin, like Rich Paul is Anakin Skywalker. So, he trained him for the good. Like he was LeBron's first agent. And so he knew I'm not gonna be your agent for your whole career. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take Rich Paul under my wing so you can start your own agency. Little did he know that they would not do it for the good of the league, but they would do it for the good of LeBron and his legacy. And they became the dark side of the motherfucking force. The dark side, bro. Can't make it up, man. You can't make it up. But yeah, look, when it comes to Knicks biz, again, like I said, I've covered most of it. Knicks will go after a couple. Knicks will either run it back or go after. Again, I'm just, we discussed about what happened, like why Thibodeau had to go. In a great 5 years, we got better every year. We got better every year. You can't get mad at that, but we can't just keep getting incrementally better. We gotta actually have a championship. Rock, we gotta have a championship out there, man. We gotta at least get to the finals. To me, next year, final or bust. I don't want to hear about no other team, bro. I mean, other teams that were below us, we got every opportunity to be better. And every reason to expect to be better. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. If anybody want to come in, I got the link in the chat, man. Anything you want to speak about, man? What any of your thoughts on game, the current going on?
Just drop a quick comment, and I got to get ready for early in the morning. But
no doubt.
No, just the hell of a shot by Halliburton, man. And like I said, there's really been no controversy this playoff, man. There was one call tonight where I thought it was a foul, and they did a replay. I said, okay, no, that wasn't a foul, straight up play. So there's really nothing to complain about. It's like you said, when Jason McIntyre say, give me super teams, give me death, he just want to see certain players, man, but it's about who's winning, man. And that's what they not understanding. They trying to hold on to something that it's been gone years ago. Past 2 years, the young teams are beating these player empowerment led teams. They beating them, so it's over. And then now maybe they having convulsions or something, but it is they better. Because like I said, this is going to show, why people. I mean, for the talking heads, that they really don't appreciate the NBA. It's just about certain people. So they doing a disservice at the end of the day. But I don't think they're gonna be around too much longer though.
Yeah, I mean, again, yeah, like people are telling you, smart talk, smart basketball talk is coming to the forefront, man. Jason McIntyre, give me super tequila, Brad. I feel honestly, I feel really humbled, man. Some of the guys I look out, the other content creators I look up to. Speed Ninja came through, 93 Zay been a good mentor. Fabian from All Ball TV came through, man. I really appreciate you guys. Some of the All Ball family came through, man. Look, another shout out to CW. We can sit there and have our basketball discussions, bro. He gave me the opportunity to come through and have my own podcast. I'm really happy. I really want, I'm really gonna try to grow this channel and this show, do some big things, man. Get more interactive. Get some videos in here, man. Like, I really appreciate all you guys that rock with me. Look, I'm just gonna try to do bigger. I'm not even gonna ask for like super chats or anything like that, man. I feel like I haven't earned it yet, but I will. I will come in. It's gonna be big things, man. I'm really happy to have a platform, and like I said, God, I'm so glad you told me, because I don't even listen to these idiots. I'm glad you told me what Jason McIntyre said, because
Oh yeah, he
he's the
said it. I
problem.
think that was Monday. So what's today? Thursday. So either
Yeah,
Monday or Tuesday.
yeah.
Like
But
Philip
he was
Fry just
bored.
said.
He was bored. Like, yeah, give me super teams or give me death.
Yep. Like
Death.
Philip Fry just
Super
said.
teams are death. Super teams
And
are
Philip
death.
Fry
Their
said it best.
careers die.
He just said it's inevitable. All the real basketball heads been in the door for too long. It's going to be a changing of the guard when it comes to sports media. That's right. That's what's going to go down. And if
Yep.
Michael Jordan gonna help lead that, he gonna help pave the way for that. Just because I already know, man, he ain't gonna tear nobody down. He gonna tell it just like it is, man. And I think a lot of people gonna be influenced by him in a positive manner. And this
Mm-hmm.
NBA can move forward, man.
No doubt,
And whoever
man. No
wins it wins
doubt.
it, man. I can live with it.
No doubt. But yeah, man, look, like and subscribe to the channel, man. Those likes and all that helps the
14
channel
grams of
grow
crack
and
for Mac.
all that. Say
Yeah.
again.
Now Timothy Miller just posted 14 grams of crack for Mac. Talking about J Mac.
Yeah, man. Well, again, all these stupid guys that y'all don't know how to sell a league. I think that's the problems. Fox and all of ESPN they've done a terrible job for 20 years selling the league. I really believe so, man. They've done a horrible job, and that's why, yeah. Bro, again, come listen here. I tell you, man, that's one good thing about streaming during the games. And I gotta turn the TV down. I do not want to hear them. I mean, honestly, Mike Breen is the GOAT, but Mike Breen's job is to call the game. You know what I'm saying? I was asking Joe that I do a good job calling that last Halliburton play. Could I do the play-by-play myself? But yeah, man. Dana White. Yeah, ESPN. It's like you got to sell what they want to sell, and you're not selling the game. You're not selling these teams. There's a lot of room to promote, but again, the casual fans don't know nothing about these real teams, and they think a team is only the two superstars, big three. They don't know what's around it. They don't know who to power for. They don't know who to back up. I mean, bro, it's just ridiculous, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Mr. Bang himself, Mike Breen. I've been listening to Bang for over 30 years, man. I remember when he was the Knicks play-by-play guy on the radio. You know what I'm saying? And then when Marv Albert had his case, that little Me Too situation Marv Albert got into, they promoted bringing up to the TV side, and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? So, well, yeah, man. All right, we been over 2 hours. It's been a great show. I really appreciate y'all guys for coming through. I did start a little late tonight. But really, obviously, look, I could watch the finals with. You know what I'm saying? Like I actually, I've been intense watching these Knicks, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, come on again. We're gonna talk about a lot going into the off season, the rest of the series, and into the off season. It's gonna be a crazy off season, I believe. A lot of players are gonna move. A lot of you're gonna have the draft, another good draft. You're gonna have a lot of things going on out here, man. So I won't be here to talk about it just because of the games ain't going on and the boy. Trust me, it's been bro. Now I had to get at LeBron a lot, and I had to get at the clutch 4 days. But bro, it's just better without that guy, man. Without that fraud. Oh, Maria Taylor, I would love to see Maria Taylor back up. Rachel, man, they should hire Rachel. Not Rachel Nichols, the other one, Michelle Beadle. I would love for them to hire Michelle. But like, give the people. Oh shit, yeah. You never know, man. We might be up for a job at NBC one of these days. You never know, bro. You know what I'm saying? We might be a sideline reporter or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So, new media, I just want to be a part of it. I just want to get my voice out there, man. I'm not trying to act, keep it humble for now, man. But I just want, because again, a lot of these guys are lying to you, and I always feel like these people with these lie narratives, they don't even know what the hell they talking about, man. And yeah, man. Yeah, Maria Taylor, boy, yeah, Maria Taylor needs to be back on. I really, she works for ESPN, unfortunately, but Monica McNutt she's great. She really is great. She works for ESPN Radio, with the Knicks, radio broadcast. Then she works for ESPN, and she works for MSG. But I would love for her to get in on the NBC because she didn't know. No one says she can't work for NBC. Like I believe you can work for multiple. I remember Marv Albert worked for MSG Network and he worked for NBC. So yeah, I remember Maria quit. I remember she quit because they full of shit up there. They give you scripts. You get a lie. You can't pay me to lie. I'm too bad of a liar, so you can't pay me to lie. You know what I mean? So all right, man. I know C-Dub is C-Dub gonna have to end the stream. So we gonna get up out of here, man. I really appreciate you guys. JB, I know you gotta go to you gotta get up in the morning.
I want to come in and help represent.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. And like I said, anytime you're available to go live, man, let me know. And like I said, I consider you a part of this program, this program as well. And Ray told me, and after school gets over, he'll be coming through. Robert, we might have a little crew here, man, and we're gonna do some things, man. Appreciate it. Philip Fry, Timothy Miller, Joel, all you guys, man. I might go, when we blow up, I'm gonna see you my day one. So I really appreciate y'all for coming through. I mean, I know y'all know me from Zay. And I appreciate y'all guys, man, for coming in and chat with the fellas, man. Peace out, guys.
All right, gentlemen.
All right, man.
All right. Peace.
All right. here. All right.